My sister-in-law, Lily, was quite plump. I don't know where she heard that leeches could help with weight loss. So she went out to the bushes and caught a whole jar full of leeches, planning to use them for weight loss. I, however, knew the dangers of leeches and rushed to stop her. Thanks to my persistent efforts, Lily abandoned the leech weight loss method. But not long after, my brother, Leo, demanded a divorce from her. Lily believed Leo was divorcing her because she was too fat. And so, she blamed me entirely. On the day her divorce from Leo was finalized, she pushed me into oncoming traffic. "It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, I would have lost weight successfully a long time ago. Your brother would never have divorced me." The last thing I saw before I died was Lily's twisted, malicious face. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Lily intended to use leeches for weight loss. The excruciating pain of being crushed by a car was gone, leaving no trace. I was sitting on the sofa when Lily walked in from outside, clutching a jar, her face flushed with excitement. Seeing her like this, I knew I had been reincarnated. Reincarnated to the day she brought the leeches home. Lily, my sister-in-law, was always on the heavier side. She'd tried countless weight loss methods, all to no avail. Watching everyone around her maintain their slim figures, her desire to lose weight grew more intense by the day. She'd heard from somewhere, I don't know where, that leeches could help. So she went to the overgrown fields, caught a plethora of leeches, and deluded herself into believing she'd achieve successful weight loss. In my past life, knowing her intentions, I'd educated her about the dangers of leeches. Some leeches carry numerous viruses, and a bite could, in severe cases, be fatal. Furthermore, the idea that leeches cause weight loss is an utterly absurd notion. Though Lily desperately wanted to lose weight, she valued her life. The moment she heard it could be deadly, she immediately abandoned the plan. I thought that was the end of it, but later, the relationship between my brother and sister-in-law fractured. Leo demanded a divorce. Lily desperately tried to salvage their marriage, but it was futile. Leo dragged her to the Civil Affairs Bureau to finalize the divorce. After the papers were signed, Lily pulled me aside, pouring out her grievances. As her sister-in-law, I empathized with her and stood by her, offering comfort. But the very next second, she shoved me into oncoming traffic, where I was instantly crushed to death by a speeding car. "It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, I would have lost weight successfully a long time ago. Your brother would never have divorced me." These were the last words I heard before I died, and I finally saw her true, malicious face. But luckily, I had been reincarnated. This time, I wanted to see what she would become without my intervention. Lily mysteriously held out a leech in front of me. "Luna, quick look, I found something amazing. They say it's super effective for weight loss. I'm going to try it." Sweat beaded on her forehead, and she reeked of perspiration, yet her face glowed with excitement as if she'd shed pounds the very next second. I suppressed my disgust, looking at the jar in her hand, crammed full of leeches. I instinctively rubbed the goosebumps on my arms but still played along. "Really? If you can lose weight, you'll definitely become a beauty, Lily. And then won't you charm Leo so much he'll be head over heels for you?" I exaggerated my praise for Lily lavishly. Lily, beaming, took the leeches into her room. I didn't miss the fleeting look of disdain she shot my way. Lily always hated me. Since I wasn't married, I still lived at home. She felt my presence here usurped things that belonged to her. But she conveniently forgot that I bought this house for our parents to live in. Leo and she were merely beneficiaries, living here through our parents. One word from me, and she'd be packing her bags. In my past life, it was out of respect for our parents and Leo. Even with Lily's countless grievances against me, I turned a blind eye, which ultimately gave her the chance to kill me. I glanced at her tightly shut bedroom door. Lily must have started her leech weight loss regimen by now, though the effects wouldn't be immediate. I eagerly anticipated the results of her leech diet, especially since she was keeping this method a secret from our parents and Leo. For several days, she continuously wore long-sleeved shirts and long pants, completely covering herself. Even when her back was drenched in sweat, she didn't waver. My mother found it odd. "Lily, why are you always wearing long sleeves? It's June, aren't you hot?" My mother was perplexed, but Lily just shook her head, a hint of guilt on her face. "I'm not hot," she replied. "I'm losing weight, and this helps with sweating." She then pulled her shirt tighter. I glanced at her, just in time to see a leech inadvertently peeking out from her ankle. It looked huge. The leeches she'd shown me before were all tiny. Now, the one on her body was the size of my thumb. It seemed these leeches had been on her for quite some time. I didn't know how many leeches Lily had put on herself, but looking at her pale face and unsteady gait, there were certainly not a few. But that wasn't enough. I kindly offered an explanation. That's right, weight loss requires sweating. The more you sweat, the faster you get thin. Mom, don't worry about it. My mother, utterly oblivious, looked Lily up and down. She seemed a little thinner than before. Your weight loss is working. With that, my mother went about her business, but words spoken casually can be heard with profound meaning. This simple comment solidified Lily's belief that her method was correct. Her face brightened with joy, and she began pressing my mother and me with questions. Mom, Luna, have I really gotten thinner? My mother nodded again. Yes, you have. You've lost quite a bit, though your complexion isn't looking too good. Still, don't overdo it with the weight loss. I think you're perfect as you are now, don't lose any more. My mother kindly advised her, but Lily showed no gratitude. Instead, she thought my mother was trying to stop her, and her expression soured. What do you know, Mom? Summer's coming soon. I need to get thin quickly so I can wear the clothes Leo bought me. He's even planning to take me out then. Her tone grew sharp. Leo is my brother. Lily truly loved my brother to the bone, almost to the point of obsession. My mother tried to offer more advice. I cut her off. Mom, this is a young person's thing. Look how beautiful Lily looks now that she's lost weight. She'll definitely be even prettier later. Leo will be happy then, too. Lily had indeed lost weight, but beautiful was not the word. Her face was pale, her eyes hollow. She looked utterly unhealthy. Where was the beauty in that? My mother, seeing me say this, didn't add anything more. Lily, on the other hand, hearing me mention Leo, softened her expression. She stood up, twirled in front of the living room mirror, beaming, then turned to me for confirmation. Luna, I really have gotten thinner, haven't I? Look, these clothes are loose on me now. She pulled up her shirt to show me, so I could clearly see how baggy her clothes had become, proving she had indeed lost weight. I could only laugh inwardly. She still didn't grasp the gravity of the situation. Leeches don't cause weight loss. Her body was shrinking simply because excessive blood loss from the leeches was causing malnutrition, and the leech's power wasn't limited to that. I glanced at her, smiling as I replied, Yes, Lily, you really have gotten thinner. Those clothes look completely loose now. Lily's smile grew wider and wider. She then scurried back into her room. As she passed, a blood-engorged leech fell off her, landing on its back. If you didn't look closely, you wouldn't even recognize it as an insect. I took a step forward and stomped on it. The leech burst, splattering fresh blood across the floor. Expressionless, I grabbed a tissue and cleaned up the mess. This tiny bit of blood was nothing compared to the blood I'd shed after being run over in my past life, a mere drop in the ocean. Leo had been away on a business trip for several days. If he had been home, Lily wouldn't have dared to act so brazenly. Peeking through the crack in the door, I saw Lily had stripped off all her long-sleeved clothes. Large leeches crawled all over her body. Some had buried their heads deep into her skin, while others, engorged with blood, had already fallen off. But Lily seemed not to notice, her eyes unblinking as she pulled off the full leeches. Their mouths were still embedded in her flesh. She then continued to pour new leeches from the jar, placing them onto her body. The leeches, sensing fresh flesh and blood, immediately found new places to attach themselves. Lily's face was manic, lost in the delusion of getting thinner. The leech's mouth secreted an anesthetic, so Lily felt no pain at all. She only saw her body shrinking. I, however, noticed the red rashes on Lily's body, symptoms of a severe systemic infection. For now, they were just simple rashes, but if left untreated, they would eventually lead to organ failure. In the following days, I continued to observe Lily. Besides her pale complexion and constant, crushing fatigue, she showed no other symptoms. Her weight was indeed dropping, and she was overjoyed. The day Leo was due to return, Lily woke up early to put on heavy makeup. She still wore long-sleeved clothes, but her figure was much slimmer. Despite the heavy makeup, she couldn't conceal the exhaustion on her face. The moment Leo walked through the door, Lily rushed over and gave him a tight hug. Darling, welcome home. Her voice was sweet, a playful whine as she called out to Leo. Then she released him and twirled in front of Leo, eager for him to see the results of her weight loss. But Leo's expression stiffened for a fleeting moment before returning to normal. Why are you so thin? Leo asked, his face devoid of joy, even hinting at anger. But Lily didn't notice. She stepped forward and hooked her arm through Leo's. I put in so much effort to lose weight, darling. You have to reward me well. Leo said nothing. He simply reached out and pulled up Lily's sleeve. The red rashes on Lily's arm were revealed before our eyes. I feigned utter surprise and asked, "Oh, Lily, what happened to your arm? Why are there so many red spots? Are you sick? Do you need to go to the hospital?" Lily hadn't expected Leo to do something so abrupt. She hastily pulled her arm away from Leo and yanked her sleeve down. "There are a lot of mosquitoes in the house." "It's just mosquito bites, nothing serious," Lily explained with a forced laugh. Since Lily had said so, Leo didn't press further. Leo had just returned from a long trip. My mother prepared a table laden with food. At the dining table, Lily solicitously served food to Leo, but Leo was always distracted, his eyes frequently darting towards me. His gaze was too intense for me to ignore. Yet, each time I met his eyes, he quickly looked away. From the moment he walked in, Leo had been acting strangely. Later, after dinner, while I was taking a nap in my room, Leo suddenly burst in through the door and threw a jar in front of me. I quickly stood up to dodge it. Only when I was steady did I see what it was: the leeches Lily had caught from the bushes. Leo was furious. He pointed at me and roared, "Luna, I never knew you could be so vicious. You stood by and watched your sister-in-law put these poisonous insects on herself without stopping her. Are you even human?" I was a bit dazed but still offered an explanation. "Brother, Lily said these were for weight loss. Look, isn't she thinner now? These insects actually work." I was playing dumb. Leo grew even angrier. "Are you really stupid, or are you just pretending? Your sister-in-law might not know, but don't you know how dangerous these things are? They can kill someone if you're not careful." His voice thundered. Lily, who had been following Leo, was stunned by his words. She clutched Leo's arm. "Husband, what do you mean? Am I going to die?" She swayed unsteadily, pulled up her sleeve, and looked at the red rashes on her body. Only then did she feel a slight itch. She began to scratch. Very quickly, the rashes showed signs of festering. "What is this? Am I going to die? Husband, save me!" Lily shrieked pitifully. Only then did Leo shift his gaze from me to her. Seeing this situation, an emotion I couldn't comprehend flickered in his eyes. I couldn't quite make it out. By the time I tried to look again, only worry remained in his eyes. He comforted Lily. "It's okay, nothing will happen. Let's go to the hospital." He then took Lily to the hospital. As they left, both gave me furious glares, but I noticed something unusual. Leo had never spoken a harsh word to me. From childhood, he had always treated me incredibly well. Moreover, his relationship with Lily wasn't that good. He wouldn't typically lose his temper like this over her. There was another detail I had initially overlooked. Leo's job didn't involve business trips. I had arranged his job. Leo didn't have a high education. I had set him up with a simple job that didn't require travel. A few days ago, having just been reincarnated, I hadn't recalled this. Combined with Leo's recent behavior, he was definitely hiding something from the family. Leo and Lily had left. Only my parents and I remained at home. My mother came to my room. She had heard Leo's earlier words. Hesitantly, she stood before me. "Luna, is what your brother said true? Did you really know how dangerous those insects were and deliberately not tell your sister-in-law?" In this situation, I definitely couldn't tell the truth. My tears burst forth. "Mom, what are you saying? Am I that kind of person? I truly didn't know." If I had, how could I let Lily get involved with them? Lily said it was a new weight loss method she'd found. "You have to believe me, Mom." I sobbed hysterically, my face streaked with tears and snot. Seeing me like that, my mother believed me. She patted my shoulder, comforting me. "Don't cry anymore. Your sister-in-law will be fine." Afterward, my mother and father packed up and went to the hospital. Now I was alone in the house. I went to Leo and Lily's room. They had left in such a hurry that they hadn't even closed the door. I had originally just intended to find out where Leo had really been these past few days, but then I discovered 2 insurance policies in his bag, one for Lily and one for me. Upon seeing the insurance policies, my memories began to awaken. In my past life, after Lily and Leo divorced, Lily pulled me aside to talk. As we crossed the road, she shoved me into oncoming traffic. Just as she gloated, she was also pushed into the traffic. Behind her stood Leo, his face grim. I clutched my head, gasping for breath, trying to sort out the information swirling in my mind. In my past life, I had convinced Lily to abandon the leech weight loss method. Not long after, Leo demanded a divorce from her. Lily blamed me for everything, ultimately leading to my death. In this life, I hadn't advised Lily against using leeches, but Leo's little performance just now would still make Lily blame me for everything. The outcome was predictable. I didn't want to think about it anymore. I put the insurance policies back, pretending I hadn't touched them. I requested leave from work. I needed to process all of this. I also didn't contact my family. On the third day, Lily called me. I pressed answer. Lily's voice was very weak, yet it couldn't conceal the burning hatred she harbored for me. Luna, you vicious woman, it's all your fault for not telling me how dangerous those leeches were. The doctor says I have a viral infection, I'm dying. It's all because of you. Even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. Her voice sounded like a dying gasp. I suddenly felt a tinge of pity for her. Looking at the information I'd found on the table, whether in my past life or this one, Lily was merely a tool. Yet, she was the one who had caused my death in the previous life. Her current plight was entirely her own doing. I replied coldly, Lily, how can you blame me? You wanted to lose weight yourself, didn't you? Shouldn't you be blaming the person who told you to use leeches in the first place? With that, I hung up. 3 days later, I went to the hospital. My parents and Leo were all there. Leo was sitting on a chair, clutching his head, looking utterly distraught. Inside the hospital room, Lily was on an IV drip. Seeing me, Leo immediately launched into a tirade. What are you doing here? It's all your fault. If you hadn't failed to warn your sister-in-law about the danger of those insects, how could she have ended up like this? He even tried to lay a hand on me, but our parents held him back. Watching his anguished act, I almost believed he was a man who truly cared for his wife. If it weren't for those insurance policies, I might have actually believed him. Now that Lily was on her deathbed, he must be the happiest person. Because finally, he could collect that insurance money. What was he pretending for now? I stared at him coldly. How could the brother I'd known since childhood have become so rotten? Brother, do you remember what you told me when we were little? You said you would always protect me, all my life, and never let anyone hurt me. Do you remember? Leo froze, taken aback by my sudden words. He waved his hand dismissively. Why are you talking about these things now? I didn't answer him. While they weren't paying attention, I slipped into Lily's hospital room. Lily was a bit delirious by then, but seeing me, she still tried to curse. How dare you come here? I'll make you pay with your life. She tried to sit up, but I stopped her, opened my phone, and showed her the information I had found. The person who had told her leeches could help her lose weight was her best friend, who was also Leo's mistress. The two of them had been having an affair for a long time. My phone displayed irrefutable evidence of their relationship, along with the insurance policy Leo had bought for her. Putting it all together, Lily wasn't stupid. What else was there not to know? No, how could this be? It's not true. She was utterly unable to accept that the husband she loved most and her dearest friend wanted to harm her. A murder plot involving insurance fraud, and it was happening to her. Her breathing grew shallow and rapid, her eyes wide with terror. Her life had entered its final countdown. I hadn't originally intended to tell her, but she was already dying. Why not let her know the truth? At least she would die with clarity. Lily was transferred to the intensive care unit. She could no longer speak. Her body, riddled with tubes, grew weaker by the hour. Only her eyes, whenever they met Leo's, burned with profound hatred. Each time, Leo would lower his head, avoiding her gaze. Lily didn't last long, dying in the hospital. By the time she passed, she was emaciated beyond recognition. In the end, at the close of her life, she achieved the weight she had always yearned for, but at the cost of her very life. Leo embraced Lily's lifeless body and began to weep agonizingly. He played the role of a good husband perfectly, right to the very end. They saw him washing his face with tears all day after Lily's death, saw him faint multiple times from grief at her funeral. Everyone praised him as a good man, lamenting fate's cruel jest. But they didn't know that Leo himself had orchestrated it all. Lily's funeral concluded, and Leo was despondent for a long time, always hiding in his room, refusing to come out. Our parents were very worried, while I continued to go to work as usual. Finally, one day after work, I saw Leo, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. His beard was scruffy, he looked utterly disheveled. Sitting at the dining table, I pretended not to see him. I wasn't even planning to eat dinner. I intended to go straight to my room. My parents called me back. Luna, come here, your father and I have something to discuss with you. Hearing this, I sat down at the dining table. My father was smoking, remaining silent while my mother nervously wrung her hands. I looked at them, then glanced at Leo, who had his head bowed, and spoke first. What is it? Just say it directly. As soon as I spoke, my mother began. Luna, it's like this, your sister-in-law is gone now. Her time in the hospital cost a lot of money, and your brother. He's not very capable, and he owes a lot of money outside. Could you transfer the title of this house to your brother so he can get a bank loan to pay off his debts? My mother's words left my heart utterly numb. I calmly looked up at her. I worked hard to earn the money to buy this house. Why should I give it to my brother? I don't agree. But before my mother could reply, my father, who had been silent, spoke up. His voice held no politeness. You're just a girl. Sooner or later, you'll get married and move out. What do you need a house for? You should give it to your brother. Besides, your sister-in-law's death is also related to you. My mother didn't refute my father's words, so that's what they had always thought. Father, you should speak less of such baseless accusations. Lily used leeches for weight loss because she believed someone else's words. How is that related to me? If you want to blame someone, shouldn't you blame the person who told her to use leeches, brother? I looked towards Leo. He finally stirred, lifting his head to glance at me. But why didn't you stop her? If you had stopped her, it wouldn't have come to this. I chuckled softly. Is this truly related to me, brother? Didn't you always complain that Lily wasn't slim enough, telling her to lose weight? Finally, she had a chance to lose weight. Why would she listen to others? Besides, I had no idea leeches could kill someone. I only wanted Lily to be happy. Leo opened his mouth but couldn't utter a word. But my father was displeased, slamming his hand on the table, making food spill. What's the use of talking about this now? Just one question, Luna. Will you transfer the title or not? The question hung in the air, and everyone looked at me. I didn't refuse outright, pondering for a moment. Let me think about it. This house is the fruit of my many years of hard work and savings. I'm truly a bit reluctant to part with it. But my brother is also my family, so giving it to him isn't entirely out of the question. My words filled the three people present with hope. My parents exchanged glances, a smile creeping into their eyes. My mother happily patted my hand. Good, you think about it. We won't pressure you. Each with their own thoughts, we finished dinner. I went back to my room and found the property deed. Early the next morning, I secretly left the house with my documents. Want my house? Don't even dream of it. I held my documents, directly requested a business trip abroad from my company, then sent my mother a single text message and turned off my phone. Before that, I had installed hidden cameras in the house. After sending the message, I opened the camera app and began observing their reactions. As expected, upon learning I was on a business trip, the three of them panicked. My phone was off, and they paced back and forth anxiously. Leo couldn't restrain himself. That Luna, she's doing this on purpose. She doesn't want to give me the house. He then stormed into my room and ransacked it. He searched for a long time but found nothing. Damn it, she must have taken the deed with her. I should have just taken care of her too. Then this house would naturally be mine. That Lily was useless. How many times did I hint at it and she still couldn't kill Luna? And those leeches were too poisonous. Why did they act so fast? Otherwise, both this house and the compensation money would have been mine, Leo fumed. My parents listened to him without surprise. Even though I knew they were aware of his schemes, witnessing it firsthand still pained me. My mother sat on the chair, filled with self-reproach. It's all my fault. I also advised Lily. She was getting too thin too quickly, but she wouldn't listen. My father smoked, his expression contemplative. After finishing the last cigarette, he finally spoke. It's fine if Luna isn't here now. The house is still here. Where can she go? The most important thing is to get Lily's compensation money first. Let's talk after we get the money. Leo nodded. Through the camera, I watched Leo take the insurance policies to the insurance company. Seeing the house, which had been so gloomy, suddenly become cheerful after they received the money, I knew I wouldn't let their happiness last long. From the very beginning, they had wanted to kill two birds with one stone. Their calculation was that I would advise Lily to give up on weight loss. Leo knew Lily's morbidly obsessive affection for him. If he divorced her because she hadn't lost weight successfully, Lily would undoubtedly blame me for everything. With Lily's madness, I wouldn't have been able to escape. In my past life, after Lily killed me, Leo then killed Lily. He would then receive the compensation from both insurance policies, as well as the assets under my name. It was truly a perfect plan. In this life, I hadn't advised Lily, which made her use leeches and completely overturned Leo's plan. Yet, he still wanted to pin the blame on me. It was just a pity they had underestimated the power of the leeches. Lily died before she could even lay a hand on me. Leo had at some point become addicted to gambling and accumulated a colossal debt. My parents knew about this. They had used all their retirement savings, but it still wasn't enough to cover Leo's debts. That's when they targeted me and Lily. For the sake of their only son, both parents chose to turn a blind eye, neither acting nor preventing, watching Leo do all of this. My parents, my family, had stooped to this level for money. In that case, I wouldn't hold back either. Seeing Leo, with the money in hand, return to his former suave appearance, I knew they still wouldn't be satisfied. They wouldn't let me off the hook. Unable to find me, they went to my company. My boss completely ignored them. I had already confided in him about my situation. He was an experienced man and simply had security guards escort them away. My colleagues back home told me all of this. Unable to find me at the company, they grew anxious and started posting videos on social media, searching for their daughter. In the videos, my parents wept bitterly, claiming poor health, saying their daughter went on a business trip and then lost contact, finally blaming Lily's death by leeches entirely on me. Leo even feigned compassion in the video, saying he didn't blame me, just wanted me to come home, that the family was very worried about me. He even shed tears at the end. The video finished there. After the video was posted, it garnered a lot of attention, even leading people to expose me online, claiming I was the one who caused Lily's death and abandoned my parents, who were tragically harmed by me. In an instant, I became the target of public criticism. How could I let them live in peace? I immediately called to report everything Leo had done to the insurance company, also providing them with the surveillance footage of their schemes. Insurance companies take such matters very seriously. After my report, they took action. Through the camera, I watched as Leo was taken away by the police for investigation, while my parents at home were so worried they couldn't sit still. I wasn't in a hurry to go home. I waited until the police investigation was almost complete and Leo's crimes were nearly confirmed before returning. The moment I got home, my parents unleashed a torrent of scolding. My father tried to hit me, but I deftly dodged, looking at him coldly. My father pointed at me and cursed. "Where have you been? You said you'd transfer the house to your brother. Why did you leave? Now your brother's in prison is that you're doing too? We should never have had you. We should have drowned you the moment you were born." Hearing his words, I felt nothing. Over 20 years of familial affection crumbled in that instant. I simply smiled. "So, this is why you and Leo wanted to trade my life for insurance money and inherit my assets? Do you even consider me your daughter? If you can be heartless, don't blame me for being ruthless." My parents were dumbfounded. They had no idea how I knew what they had done. They both looked guilty, and my next words completely enraged them. "This is my house. I've sold it. Let's see when you'll move out." The moment I finished speaking, my father roared, "Who the hell do you think you are? You want to kick us out? I'm your biological father, you have to support me. When this house is sold, I deserve a share. Otherwise, I could kill you just like your sister-in-law. We wouldn't just get the house, but a substantial insurance payout too." He revealed his sinister intentions. I smiled again. "The beneficiary of my insurance policy is my father, isn't it? Well, you probably won't get the chance." The moment I finished, police officers burst into the house from outside, directly apprehending my parents. Lily's death still had no conclusion from the police. Now, my father's confession made them suspects too. This time, before returning, I had already reported to the police, mostly to cancel my insurance policy. Now, this was an unexpected bonus. My parents were taken away for investigation, leaving me alone in the house. While they were gone, I packed up all my belongings, then contacted the real estate agent selling the house and sold it directly at the lowest possible price. Only when the money was in my hands did I feel a moment of peace. The police took my parents, but without evidence proving their involvement in Lily's death, they were only detained for a few days and then released. I had already spoken with the insurance company. With this scheme revealed, my insurance policy was no longer valid. When my parents returned home, they discovered the house had a new owner. Their belongings were dumped on the staircase. My father tried to argue with the new owner, only to be chased out of the apartment complex by security. My mother followed silently, carrying her luggage. The two of them, outside the apartment complex with nowhere to go, naturally tried to contact me again, but I had changed my number long ago. They then thought of social media, continuing to lament their misfortune online, recounting my unfilial behavior, claiming I sold the house without giving them anything. Because of this, they even gained quite a few sympathizers, with some netizens finding them so pitiful they wanted to give them money. They initially refused but later accepted, though it still wasn't enough. I watched them become a sensation on social media. Leo still hadn't been convicted. The police hadn't found direct evidence. Based solely on that video, they couldn't convict him. I sought out Lily's best friend, Leo's mistress, Sarah. When I found her, she was a bit scared and tried to run away. I stopped her. You must know by now Leo is in prison. His murder for insurance fraud scheme has been exposed. Do you think you can escape? Sarah frantically shook her head. What does that have to do with me? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the person you're referring to. She tried to play dumb, but I already had proof of her and Leo's affair. I didn't waste words with her. You can deny it, but I can find out about you and Leo. The police can find out too. If you don't speak now, when Leo, to save himself, exposes you, you'll end up in prison just like him. My words made Sarah panic slightly. What do you want me to do? She was just a woman. She didn't want to go to prison. She chose to cooperate with me. She was very careful and had kept evidence that Leo told her to trick Lily into using leeches for weight loss. She gave me the evidence, and I gave her a sum of money to leave the city. After dealing with Sarah, I handed the evidence I had obtained to the police. Leo was convicted of murdering his wife for insurance fraud. With overwhelming evidence, the two charges combined led to a sentence of 6 years. This was all his own doing. As for my parents, they didn't seem too heartbroken. They continued to air their grievances online. It was then that I found a lawyer to post a clarification. They revealed that my parents had helped Leo murder his wife to defraud a massive insurance payout, and had even tried to kill their own daughter, attempting to seize her house. As soon as it was posted, netizens directly attacked the couple so harshly that they had to withdraw from social media, demanding they return the money. But where would they get the money? They could only delete their accounts overnight, disappearing without a trace. Some leeches carry numerous viruses, and a bite could, in severe cases, be fatal. Although being alone abroad was a bit difficult, it was far better than before when I was surrounded by family who constantly sought to end my life. 6 years later, Leo was released from prison. He sought out our parents. Our parents had aged. For 6 years, they had only been able to work odd jobs everywhere, barely scraping by. Now, with an idle Leo added to the burden, they couldn't bear it at all. But for their son, they couldn't not asterisk work. Finally, their bodies, overworked, collapsed, and they had to be hospitalized. Leo, meanwhile, was beaten by debt collectors and suffered a broken leg. He could only lie in bed all day, relying on our parents for care. The three of them tormented each other in a cheap rental room, occasionally having to deal with debt collectors. My friends back home told me all these things. When I heard them, my heart felt no ripple of emotion, because I had found my own family. For me, everything was in the past. I had left them behind and was living a peaceful life.